Hey ratbags, it's Jade today giving you the lowdown on my first impressions of PALWORLD. I'm actually going to be covering this on my second channel, JPG Crafted. I've already got guides up and running right now, so if you want to get the lowdown on PALWORLD in the future, make sure you head over there. So why do a review here on my main bigger survival channel? Well, I have got a lot of sleeper survival fans here, and I know a lot of you guys might be wondering about the game. Honestly, I've just got lots going on. We've got Enshrouded coming soon, Fractured Veil, and in February we've got things like Nightingale and Sons of the Forest 1.0. So I'm trying to manage the content accordingly, and my second channel is really for more chilled survival, a bit maybe younger viewing, not as gory or maybe mature. But yeah, I definitely wanted to get the word out because PALWORLD has surprised me. The makers of this game are the same people that made Craftopia, and I hyped that game up on this channel for years as well as it was about to launch. And when it did, it was kind of a mess. It was a mixture of good ideas, but they weren't really gelling together. It was far too early for the game to really even go into game preview or early access. 4 years on, it's still getting developed, albeit sometimes a bit slowly, but it has been receiving updates and content, and it's going to continue to get finished as they also work on PALWORLD. So why did I have maybe a negative conception of PALWORLD? Well, like I said, because Craftopia's taken quite a while, and really I'm not a Pokemon guy. It's just not my vibe. I'm a bit too mature for that normally. I never played games like Art to collect thousands of dinosaurs. It was always just the adventure and hopefully not to die. But PALWORLD has pleasantly surprised me. It's on Gamepass, so you're on a winner if you're on Xbox and you have it. It's going to be free to give it a try. And on Game Preview, I think you can try it for an hour as well. On Steam, it will be available, but no news yet on PlayStation. I'm guessing not until it hits 1.0, which probably won't be for a couple of years. So there we go. PALWORLD, what is it? It is absolutely a Pokemon, maybe Ark-inspired mix mash. You will be going out into a open world, completely open world, crafting, building up a town, your settlement, your base, and then recruiting pals. These are these creatures that you can capture in spheres once you've beaten up on them a bit. They take quite a bit of damage, and then you put them in your sphere, and then you can take them back to your base and you can get them to work for you. The trailers kind of hinted at a kind of evil thing or vibe going on. It kind of hinted that you'd be rescuing them, but then also said that actually no, you'd be eating them and working them as well. And it is pretty much like that. It's been coined Pokemon with guns by me and lots of people. There is a huge amount of firearms and combat in it. It's meant to be adding PvP, another reason I'm doing a review here, just to keep you guys in a loop. And can definitely see they've got the groundwork ready for it. It's looking likely they're going to have full base raiding and all sorts running on servers in the future. For now, it's limited to just 4 players maximum joining your friend's world, or being able to host your own dedicated server where it'll have up to 32 players. That's scheduled with its launch in a couple of days. I was given some early access to check it out. And it's got a plethora of world options that you can change and adjust modifiers to get either more resources, make capturing the pals easier, and turning on or off some of them PvP elements for you and your friends. But it doesn't look like they'll be adding full PvP elements until some way down the line, where I reckon they'll probably launch maybe some official servers. So don't panic, it's still right now a PvE focused game. You can play it single player, you can play it offline, you don't have to play it online at all. And it's got some cool features for sure. You'll be able to go ahead and basically create as many worlds as you want, check out different ways of playing it, and yeah, go and survive, build up your base, gather resources, you know the deal. It seems quite basic at first, stone, ore, and pretty much wood. They're the 3 main things you'll be gathering. But as you get into it more and more, you start realising you're going to need lots of drops from the pals, so you are going to have to kill their cute little faces. You will have to start gathering other resources that you'll find maybe a bit more tougher to get. And each one of these little creatures has their own unique set of abilities and elemental damage types. I think there's over 50 at launch, maybe even more than that, or it looks like they've got more planned. They've all got different bonuses and buffs for you if you take one along as a follower, and you can take up to 5 of them as you run around the world and choose one to basically come out of its ball and then fight alongside you. And then you can literally tame hundreds of them to have and utilise around your base. Although there are limits of how many you can have active at your base, but you can have them in storage ready to go whenever you need a certain one. Some are good at getting wood, some are good at getting stone, some will plant seeds for you. They pretty much do this all automatically. It's a bit wonky at the moment sometimes with this. If you leave them in your settlement, they can go and work on some of your lumber mills or your stone masonry yards, and sometimes they just won't do anything, and doesn't seem to be any reason because they're happy. You place beds down, you keep them happy that way, you feed them, etc. So I found I had to restart. Apart from that and a few other little niggles, I've got to say, for an early access title, it's miles better than the previous game, Craftopia. And overall, pretty polished. I would say it's a really put together game. Didn't experience any crashes, any real bad graphical glitches, although performance was running quite hot on my PC and I'm running a 390. So definitely want to see what it's going to run like on the Xbox. But the sound is there, they've got unique sounds, they have, like I said, unique skill sets, and they've got unique moves and abilities. Some will just fire off lightning, ice balls, earth clumps, and then they've also got extra abilities that they can earn as they gain experience. So it is the heart of the game. You get your pals, you set them to work gathering resources, you keep building up your base, you keep unlocking hundreds of different items and ways to play. Seems to be a big focus on decorative pieces. You really are a cozy base builder. You might be a bit disappointed with some of the base parts being quite big and chunky and maybe not that much room to blend, but it does have a lot of decor and decorations. There's a ton of armor, and as you work your way through the levels, you'll unlock the ability to craft guns. And yes, you can make your pokey guys, no, sorry, not pokey guys, your pal guys, make and carry a bunch of guns on them. Why not have some dude looking like a penguin with a bazooka on his back? You can tame them obviously and utilise them to get around and traverse, although that doesn't come to quite late until you start getting some of the saddles and other items you'll need to actually ride them. And then it's got a bunch of bosses and mini dungeons that you'll take part in or run around trying to get more exclusive resources. You can come across traders and NPCs. And it's a huge map. There's fast travel points that you'll unlock as you explore. There's different spawn points that you can find when you die for the first time. And it seems so far to have quite a good choice in different biomes. You will have to worry about the cold and the heat going into some of these. And yes, it's a proper survival game. You are going to have to think about basics as well, like food. And some base defenses, even without the PvP element at the moment, it does look like there is a mechanic where occasionally you will get some of these pals or certain types of pals come and attack your base. But again, that could be turned on or off as well in the settings. So very cartoony art style, you know, really aping sort of Pixar and I would say Pokemon-esque. I've got to say, I'm not a huge fan of anime style graphics and stuff like this. Maybe that's what's kind of put me off before. And I only really looked at Craftopia because it had loads of automation in it and stuff. But it does look like this is like the evolution of that game and adding new ways to play it with more focus on these pals and taming them. And I've got to say, yeah, it's got me invested. It's a bit rough in some of the controls in terms of choosing your companions to actually do stuff. Like I said, sometimes they just don't do or go and work on whatever you want them to work on. And that may be just me not really fully sussing it out, but I think it is more of a bug. But yeah, a pretty solid title. It's going to be $29.99 if you're buying it outright. Otherwise, yep, you can pick it up on Gamepass on PC and Xbox. And I would say a solid start. The overworld is massive. If you've got it in vanilla settings, it's going to take you a long ass time to get through and find all the stuff to craft and unlock all the new items. You level up and you get skill points as well, where you can increase your HP, your speed at crafting. It does seem to be a massive choice of weapons and armors, but some of that stuff you really don't unlock until a bit later into the game, so it might feel a bit of a grind getting there. Certainly gathering resources is a bit harsh in the beginning, but as soon as you start working out your pals can help you, that really starts making it progress a bit quicker. So yeah, it's pretty good. You can find traders, like I said, you buy and sell stuff, little settlements and stuff. There seems to be a storyline about poachers and you are basically a good poacher. You can break into top class areas to free pals, but then you can also capture them and use them how you want to. And yes, you can cook a lot of your friends. It has surprised me how in-depth it is, like with the different crafting benches and the way that it functions with the pals and setting them to work and stuff. And it looks like there will be more controls that you can use to manage all of them in one go or set certain ones to do certain jobs. There's not much danger though. I didn't really come across a dangerous pal until you hit them. They generally won't hurt you until much later when I explored a much further biome and I come across some boars that were really not happy with me, and maybe a few of the caves and dungeons you'll come across some mini bosses that will start hitting you maybe straight away. So I think I would like a little bit more danger, but I guess the early starting islands or the peninsula where you start is meant to be a friendly place where you learn the basics of the game. And then hopefully as you progress, you'll come across even more dangerous pals that will basically attack you straight away. When you do attack them, yeah, you've got this chance of picking them up Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on your capture level. That needs a bit more work and clarity about what levels do what level you need to be. You can find things that upgrade it, but it's all about finding these special little shrines across the map that allow you to put points into upgrading your capture level, and then you'll be able to go for some of the tougher ones, or crafting, getting more advanced spheres that you can use to take these on. But again, that isn't always that clear at the beginning. But overall, really impressed. The animations are there, it's got good sound, everything seems to function more or less apart from just a couple of them little niggles. And I'm invested in building mega factories and seeing how far I can maybe push it by unlocking more and more of the PALs. It does take quite a while to build up the little army. I don't know what the limit is, but at the moment I've just got about 10, and that's after nearly 20 hours in the game. And I have to see how things pan out with their implementation of maybe more base defense stuff and how they're going to handle PvP in the future. But overall, a solid start. There's no reason not to give it a try if you're on Xbox and got Game Pass. I think survival fans will like it. Like I said, that itch to capture them all like you find in games like Ark or even Conan with Thralls, then yeah, you're going to enjoy this game. You can make it tougher if you want more of a challenge. And I can't wait to explore a bit further, see what else is out there in some of these more tougher biomes, and hopefully come across a bit more danger. And there you go, that is my first impressions. Like I said, go and check out my second channel, JPG Crafted. Like I said, loads of guides, loads of gameplay can come in there. I will be focusing more on Enshrouded, which is coming up very soon here. So make sure you subscribe if this is your first visit to my channel or channels. Until next time, ratbags, laters.